Okay, so it's been a bit since Holden and Hoyan have been out, almost 24 hours on the Asia server, and I kind of want to break down both of their kits and talk about their value for a lot of people and also their drawbacks, okay? So I've been using Holden a bit, not as much Hoyan, however, how Hoyan is and who would want to get her is pretty much clear as day, so we're going to talk about both of these units. I've been checking a lot of things out, checked out Pride, checked out some Discords and all that good stuff, so we're going to talk about that and kind of draw our conclusions on these two units in today's video. So we're going to start with Holden. He is really good. I'm not going to lie, this guy is really good. He has very strong skills. All three of his skills have uses. Let me just restart this. If you go into Threshold, he works in Terror, okay? I use him for Health 4. I mean, if you go to Inferno, he's one of the two teams that works for Inferno. So yes, this guy is very good, and he overall doesn't need much. However, what you have to keep in mind is for Terror, the current team that is working with Holden is manual, right? So you can't do this shit on auto. So that does take a bit of drawbacks out, but because Holden doesn't need much value, and a lot of the units that you use overlap, like Lily you're going to use anyway, Valerian, I mean, you have for Doki, and then Holden you would have to build out, but only to 5-star. So it's not a lot of investment in terms of that, but you still need your supports and all that to be very high stats. So there is that to consider. Of course, he doesn't work in Doki and in Aurora. I would still say the pretty clear winner is Heinrich. The main reason is because the buff block is super strong. Okay, so I personally would say that Heinrich is still better for Health 4 on Aurora, and I cannot say for Inferno, but I'm going to still say that Heinrich takes the win because Heinrich can remove the debuff immunity on every one of his skills, where for Holden, it's only the ult. Now, in PvP, this boy is going to work super well. Super well. This ult is crazy. Now, you do need to get the levels up, and this is something we'll talk about, but it's pretty much like you need to get the skill 1 up to level 5 if you really want a chance of doing good damage. Like the amount of damage I'm doing now and how much I'd get at level 5 is pretty important and pretty detrimental. Also, the skill 2 is very good. Even if it's only a 60% chance, if you get this, you're in business, right? And his ult is it's really good, but it does kind of take away. If you want to get big use out of the res lower, you're going to want to actually make sure that he's going first, right? That's the main thing. And why I'm saying that is because res minus makes it so that the allied debuffers are actually going to have a better chance at applying their debuffs, which is really good, but you have to be first. Now, this Dispel is also huge, but then the problem lies in how much he needs. So this is going to be him needing defense, crit rate, and also a good amount of speed, and effect accuracy if you get unlucky, especially with the skill 1. So all these things do add a lot together. However, it doesn't take away from him. I think long term you're going to find more value in him. However, right now, can he be used in Terror? Yes. Can he be used in PvP? Yes. So I would say for most people, he's probably going to be a summon, right? If you have gear for Rahu, if you geared your Rahu, well, instead you could put the gear on Holden for now. Personally, I was running 12-piece speed and defense, and then afterwards I was putting Artisan, right? Artisan works pretty well, gives the shield, gives extra defense. It's good. However, he needs a lot of lattices, and it's a lot, right? Because you want to get the skill 1 up, you want to get the ult up at least to level 3, because a 5-turn cooldown is pretty fucking big. But this guy is good. I think his damage is a bit less than I thought it would be, but we're gonna have to test him out on more things. I just don't think he is like #1 in everything. I don't think anyone made him seem to be #1. But I think some people who are saying he's really good are maybe using him in situations that are maybe unoptimal, because it's like for PvE. I mean, someone said they were using it for Doki. I actually am so confused by that, because like, yo, he's doing nothing in Doki, right? Like, he's dying or he's not applying his debuffs. Because remember, you're type disadvantage, right? And type disadvantage, well, I mean, we know how that goes. You lose crit rate, you lose effect accuracy. And that's pretty big for him, where he wants both of those, right? So that's something to keep in mind, for sure. Unless you build him with fucking like 150% crit rate, I don't know. Now then, for Hoyan, I actually do want to talk about Hoyan a little more. And there's a lot of interesting things about her. The biggest thing is me realizing how fucking ass her fleeting glance was when you don't actually have her skill leveled up to at least level 4. So there's a lot of things that are pretty rough, okay, with Hoyan's kit, but it's going to be leveling up everything, right? Getting this down to 3-turn cooldown is pretty big. Also, being able to get this to level 4 is pretty big. So you're using a good amount of lattices. Her skill 1, I'd say, could remain untouched. But overall, it's pretty decent. But it's just crazy how much the passive actually does need. And how big the cooldown is. A 6-turn cooldown is crazy to really consider if we're being real, right? But then also, there's the fact in PvP, of course, you will also be needing to not fight someone like Messiah, right? Now, not only someone like Messiah, but also block and dispels. So someone like Holden is a perfect counter to her because she's applying Soul Ward, which means that someone like Holden, right? Someone like Heinrich are both able to actually strip away this buff, and then all of a sudden she's dead, right? So that's something to really keep in mind, is that her S2 can be nullified, and then of course Messiah makes it so that she can't even apply the Soul Ward in the first place. So it's very important to keep in mind. But yeah, no, her damage can be very good, like 390% with a 90% damage increase. So only maxes out at 90% at level 3, which is unfortunate that you have to get to level 3 because you're missing out on like what? I don't know, like 20% damage increase. So it's pretty big. It is definitely pretty big to consider. But she is still very, very good. However, I don't think she's a must-need, and you're not running her in Doki Doki. That's the main thing. For Doki Doki, you're not running her because you want an AoE. Like, you're better off just going for fucking... Or you're better off trying to get Messiah and trying to clear with Mass instead of Hoyan, okay? Hoyan is great, but very much PvP centered. So I'd say for most people right now, Hoyan is someone to stay away from if we're being completely real. Getting Holden is fine. However, to build Holden, like to really prove for him to be useful in PvE, you're going to really need to also get Sonya with her. Well, you don't really need much into Sonya, but having Fangus with his skill 1 maxed out to be able to get like the higher dot chance is pretty important, all things considered. Like you do need a very specific team, at least for right now, obviously. But the thing is, it's pretty much that's how it is, right? Because if you're running X unit, then you need Y unit. And if you're running A unit, then you need B unit, right? So they kind of made it that way. I would say that overall, in terms of value, he's not on the level of Freya. I think that it was pretty obvious. I mean, I told y'all to summon for Freya. But he is a very good unit that I think long-term is going to be way better once we have proper sets built up. So that's something that we have to consider for sure. For Hoyan, I'm not too sure how exactly she's going to be future-proof, because also the amount of lattices she needs, I mean, you won't even be able to get that in 2 weeks. So I feel like waiting for the next SSR and seeing how they play is probably better, but we'll have to see. I just don't think Hoyan is worth it. I mean, obviously I'll get Hoyan, but I think mainly if you're going to summon for one of the two, it's going to be Holden. And, you know, he actually has a very cool design as a man. I mean, he's definitely a fine looking man, that's for sure. And they definitely treated him well. Like, this is a very good ult, but of course you need to put a lot of investment in these two units. So, like, in some cases, just make sure that if you're going to invest, first of all, get your Lily S1 maxed, get a lot of skills maxed. If you want to get your Rosa skill 2 for the follow-ups, right? Make sure you're investing into some 4-stars, right? Once you've done all that, then yeah, I mean, if you need Holden for something, then go ahead. If you really want to invest in the Shadow Sonya, then great. But yeah, he would probably be almost a must if he also worked in Hell Aurora, but obviously now it's changed because he'd be able to work pretty well with like Sonya and all that with the pushback. It's definitely good. That pushback, you have to understand, is really good with the dots because you're able to get more in, so it's pretty huge. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to say Holden is probably pretty much, I would say, a must summon. Get one copy and just have him ready for the future. I would say Hoyan is a pretty free skip, but if you want her, then have fun in PvP, right? She's not that hard to build. That's the one positive about her. Like right now, I could slap on this and then she'd be pretty much good to go and be doing pretty decent. So there is that to consider. I'm probably going to make a Holden showcase next. I'll see about that. But for now, I'm done. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think. And it seems like we're done. Gear, what'd I get? Crit rate. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Fucking hell, man. Of course.